Okay, today we're going to be solving word problems. So we're just going to jump right in. All right, the first one, find three consecutive integers whose sum is 84. All right, a consecutive integer. They are numbers that follow one right behind the other. So if I start with 2, the next number is 3. And then the next number is 4 and 5 and 6. Consecutive means that they come one right after the other. So if I have 3 consecutive integers and I don't know what any of them are, we give the first one x. And since they are just one right after the other, if my first integer were 2 and I wanted to find 3 from 2, I would add 1. If I wanted to find 4 from 2, I would add 2. So it just goes x plus 1, x plus 2, and if you had a whole bunch more, if you had 5 integers, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 4, like that. All right, now, it tells us their sum is 84. So my first integer is x, my second one's x plus 1, my next one's x plus 2. I'm going to take all 3 of those integers and write them as an equation, and their sum is 84. Set them equal to 84. Add like terms like I would any problem. X plus x is 3x. 2 and 1 are 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me 84. 3x equals 81. Divide by 3. X is 27. Now, if the first integer is 27 and I add 1 to that, that's going to give me 28. If I add 2 to 27, that's going to give me 29. Now, 27, 28, and 29 is my answer. Now, how do I find out if I'm correct? Well, it says that all 3 of those integers should add to be 84. So just add them all up and see if they equal 84, and they do. So therefore, this checks out. All right, now, consecutive even integers. The next problem deals with that. Even integers are 2 apart. So 2 is even. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, they're 2 numbers apart. So when we put those down, we start with x with our first integer, then we add 2. So x plus 2, x plus 4. Now, odd integers are the same. Students want to do this. They want to go x plus 1, x plus 3, x plus 5 because that's odd, right? But that's not how it's done. If I had 3 and I wanted to get to 5, I don't add 1, I add 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. If I have 5 and I want to get to 7, I add 2. If I have 3 and I want to get to 7, I add 4. So even though it's odd, it is still x plus 2, x plus 4, because they are an even amount apart. They're not an odd amount apart. They're an even amount apart. Okay, the sum of 5 consecutive integers equals 5.5 times the middle integer. Now, we're going to just write our 5 consecutive integers. X plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 4. Now, what it says to write my equation, it says the sum of those 5 consecutive integers, what does it equal? 5.5 times the middle one. The middle one is this one right here, the third number. So I'm going to take all 5 of those, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 4, and set it equal to 5.5 times my middle integer, which is x plus 2. So I'm going to do this side over here, 5.5x plus 5.5 times 2 is 11. Then on this side, I'm adding like terms. I've got 5x, and then 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 10. Now I'm going to solve my equation. I'm going to subtract 5x and pull it over here. And when I do, I have 0.5x plus 11 equals 10. I'm going to subtract 11. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. And then I'm going to take negative 1 and divide it by 0.5, which gives me negative 2. So my first integer is negative 2. If I add 1 to that, my next integer is negative 1. If I add negative 2 plus 2, that gives me 0. Negative 2 plus 3 gives me 1. And negative 2 plus 4 gives me 2. Now, to check this one, I add them all up, -2 plus -1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2, that ends up being 0. And does that equal 5.5 times the middle one? Well, the middle one is 0, so yes, it checks. All right, now here's our consecutive even integer question. It says the sum of two consecutive even integers is 46. Find the integers. All right, two consecutive. Remember the slide that I showed you earlier? Consecutive even integers as well as consecutive odd integers are two numbers apart. So my first one is x and my next one is x plus 2. So it tells me the sum of those two integers is 46. So x plus 2 equals 46. So 2x plus 2 equals 46. Subtract the 2. 2x is 44 and x is 22. If this one is 22, this one's 24, and do the two of them add to be 46? Yes, they do. Okay. The length of a rectangle is 3 centimeters more than 5 times the width. The perimeter is 66 centimeters. Find the length and width of the rectangle. Now, this problem did not have a rectangle drawn. What I do, when they tell me I've got a figure, I draw that figure. So here's the figure. They tell me that the length is 3 centimeters more than 5 times the width. All right, so I'm giving width my W. I don't know anything about that. And then it tells me, and that's what you do. You look at the length, you look at the width. Which one did they tell you nothing about? They didn't tell me anything about the width. That's how come I give it my W, or an X if you prefer. But whichever it is, whichever side, whatever part it is in the problem that you know absolutely nothing about, gets your variable. So I don't know anything about the width. They told me something about the length in terms of the width. So I write W for width. The length of the rectangle is 3 centimeters more than 5 times the width. I did not do this problem right. We need a 5 here. So that would give us, let's come over here. It is 3 centimeters more than 5 times the width. If we put all that together, and it tells us the perimeter is 66. So if we put all that together, that's 10, 11, 12 W plus 6 equals 66. Subtract 6 from both sides, and 12W equals 60. Divide by 12, and W is 5. So my width is 5. And my length is 5. It says it's 3 more than 5 times the width. So my length is going to be equal to 5 times 5 plus 3, which is 28. Now, you want to see if it checks. 28 plus 28 is 56. And then 5 plus 5 is 10. And 56 and 10 is 66. It checks. A person has quarters, dimes, and nickels with a total value of 500 cents, which is $5. The number of nickels is twice the number of quarters. The number of dimes is 4 less than the number of quarters. Find the number of quarters, nickels, and dimes. Remember what I told you on the problem prior to this. Your variable is always what you know nothing about. So they told me about nickels in terms of quarters. In this sentence, I know nothing about quarters, so I check the next sentence. They tell me about dimes in terms of quarters again. I know nothing about quarters. So my quarters gets my X. Okay? Now I go back up and I look at the rest of it. They tell me the number of nickels is twice the number of quarters. Well, how do I write twice this? I write 2x. Then they tell me the number of dimes is 4 less than the number of quarters. Remember, less than is one of those words that flips things. So quarters is my x. So I'm not going to write 4 minus x, I'm going to write x minus 4. All right, now I'm going to set my problem up. They told me that I have 500 cents or $5. Okay, now, so I'm going to take, how much is a nickel worth? It's worth 5 cents. And I'm just using the cents. I'm going to use 500 cents. So I'm going to do 5 here because nickels is 5 cents. Quarters is 25 cents. Dimes is 10 cents. And that's how I set that up, equal to 500. Now we're going to do our math. 2x times 5, 10x. 25 times x is 25x. 10 times x is 10x minus 40 equals 500. Then I combine like terms. That gives me 45x minus 40 equals 500. I add 40 to both sides to move this one. That gives me 45x equals 540. Divide by 45 and x is 12. All right, so I've got 12 quarters. And 2 times 12 is 24. And 12 minus 4 is 8. Now I want to check and see if I've got 500 cents or $5. So, come down, if I've got 24 nickels, that's 120 cents. I've got 12 quarters, 12 times 25 is 300 cents. And 8 dimes is 80. Does that add up to 500 cents? Yes, it does. Thank you.